Happy Thursday, Mid-Missouri. We are tracking rain for this afternoon, especially for folks near the Lake of the Ozarks. That's where we expect rain to maybe interrupt our warm-up just a little bit. We're still looking at near normal temperatures for this time of the year. March, our average high is about 51. That's right on the dot where we expect Columbia to be by around 1 to 2 o'clock. Showers and thunderstorms, though, may drop some of those 50s into the 40s for folks near the Lake of the Ozarks. And then all bets are off throughout the rest of the evening as rain continues to spread north. It will keep us somewhat mild. Temperatures still near 41 around midnight. Widespread rain, it's going to be a soaker for us. Some folks could pick up as much as 2 to 3 inches. We'll talk about that in a second. First, let's address the snow. Snow will mix in between about 7 o'clock and through the rest of the morning into the early afternoon. But notice there's a big caveat here. This is happening with very, very borderline temperatures. We can get snow to the ground at 34, 35, 33, but temperatures are not going to support anything sticking, even on some elevated surfaces if temperatures are above freezing. Now, keep that in mind with the fact that ground temperatures are still warm. We've been warm as of late, and so pavement temperatures are not really going to support sticking snow either unless we get really good snow rates, which is possible in this part of the storm. We're looking at some dark blues here. That's where we would have a better chance at some of that snow sticking. And so when we look at our snow map, after this all wraps up at around late afternoon, let's look at our snow map here. We're looking at anywhere between a trace to 2 inches on the very high end of things. But notice, each 3 of these tiers start with a 0. It's entirely possible that we get out of this with no accumulation. And that would be a situation where temperatures just don't allow it to happen. But again, if we get temperatures that are borderline enough and some of those better snow rates locally, we could get some accumulation. Now, even from there, it's still kind of dynamic because, well, we're dealing with a wet snow that takes longer to accumulate. It would likely end up in some slush, and with maybe some fresher snow above it. This is a very wet snow. It's melting as it falls. As it sits, it's melting, and we're dealing with warm pavement. Again, that's going to complicate your roadway situation because we're not looking at really good accumulations. It might end up as a slush at best on roads with maybe a better likelihood of this snow accumulating on things like grass, elevated surfaces. Now, I mentioned air temperatures are above freezing, so it's still going to be tough to get snow to accumulate on grass or on elevated surfaces, but if we get snow to fall fast enough, that could overcome that on a very localized basis. So essentially, this is still a lot of uncertainty. There's still a lot of uncertainty in the forecast. We could get nothing, and we could end up with as much as 2 inches north of Macon. That's what we're looking at. Near Columbia, we're looking at a trace at best. I really don't expect this to impact the Columbia area. Moberly to Macon is really that zone. Flood alerts today for this storm are in effect for Pulaski and Phelps counties. We've got flood watches, aerial flood watches in effect. Essentially, we could see some flooding with a lot of rain that's moving in. This is going to be a very moisture-rich situation. For all the uncertainty that exists with the snow forecast, there's that much more certainty with the moisture. We're going to see a lot of rain with this, and whatever snow we do see, it's going to be very melty, and it's quickly contributing to the overall water content that we see. So we could see, once it's all said and done, anywhere between 1 to 3 inches. Take a look at the weekend, though. The weekend looks really pleasant. We're going to go through this messy period with some slushy, wet conditions on Friday morning, but we see things really rebound Saturday and Sunday. We're in the 50s on Saturday with some cloud cover, but more sunshine on Sunday. Temperatures in the low 60s, and we're pushing upper 60s by Monday.